We don't hear the word hobo much anymore, but beginning about 100 years ago, a subculture thrived in the rail yards of Hilliard and the rocky flats along the Spokane River. These were Spokane's hobo camps, filled with men who chose a way of life with no fixed address. They rode the rails from city to city, congregating especially on the continent's major railroad division points. Spokane was one such point. They carried their clothes in sacks. They warmed their hands around campfires and sang about the Big Rock Candy Mountains, where there's a lake of stew and a whiskey too. They had their own customs, their own lingo. Wine was Yakima bourbon. Their bedrolls were bindles. Their camps were jungles. They became folk heroes because of their carefree lives, free from society's restrictions. Charlie Chaplin took on the character of the little tramp and became a star. Here's how one Spokane hobo put it: "You haven't got no ties to nobody or nothing. That's how I like it." In 1905, a hobo wrote a letter to the Spokesman-Review under the name of Weary Willie, in which he recalled that he had once worked for a living. The very memory, he said, had brought him a blush of shame. In 1906, the Wallace, Idaho police chief said he was tired of giving hobos a free ride, so he rounded up all of the Willies in town, dozens of them, and put them to work cleaning up the alleys behind the saloons. Most just hopped on a freight and moved on. The hobo population exploded during the Great Depression of the 1930s. Thousands of unemployed people rode the rails in search of work, changing the very nature of the hobo jungles. These new hobos were on the move out of desperate economic necessity. Hobos still loomed large in popular culture, but now they were sad figures such as Emmett Kelly's Weary Willie character. When World War II arrived, it became harder to defend an entire non-productive class. One hobo king told Spokane reporters that a tramp is a man who won't work, a bum is a booze fighter, but a hobo is willing to work as long as he is free to roam from job to job. By the 1950s, these distinctions had blurred beyond recognition. Spokesman-Review reporter Dorothy Powers ventured down to the hobo jungle by the Spokane River and found an entire cross-section of the 1953 hobo life. One man said he'd, quote, drink anything with alcohol in it. One was washing his shirt in a can of soapy water because he needed a clean shirt to apply for a job. And another group admitted they were all drawing rocking chair pay, slang for unemployment checks. In the 1960s and 1970s, a new kind of vagabond, young and long-haired, was drawn to the hobo life. Yet, if the life was ever truly carefree and adventurous, it no longer was. The camps still existed on the Spokane River bottom, but they were squalid and dangerous. By the 1980s, the word hobo was a relic of the past, replaced by words such as transient and homeless, words with no hint of romance or adventure. The homeless population didn't roam, it stayed in one place and just tried to survive. Today, a few free spirits might still ride the rails, but the hobo culture is long gone. The Big Rock Candy Mountains proved to be a myth. Nothing is left but the blackened fire rings and rusting tin cans down in the old jungles by the muddy Spokane. This is Jim Kershner for SpokesmanReview.com.